Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Daily Practice Hub. I'm Laura.
And I'm Alex. We're here in New York City, and we're so excited to start this journey with you.
That's right. This is our very first episode, and we want to help you practice English every day with simple, useful conversations.
Exactly. We know learning English can feel challenging sometimes. But we're here to make it fun and easy. In each episode, we'll have natural conversations that you can use in real life.
And we'll speak slowly and clearly just for you. Today, we're going to talk about something very important: how to introduce yourself and say where you're from.
These are probably some of the first things you'll say when you meet new people in English.
Right, so let's start by introducing ourselves. Alex, why don't you go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex. I'm from Chicago, but I live in New York now.
Nice. And I'm Laura. My name is Laura, and I'm originally from California, but like Alex, I also live in New York now.
Great. So let's break this down for our listeners. When you introduce yourself, the most basic phrase is, "My name is," followed by your name.
Exactly. My name is Laura, or my name is Alex. But you can also say, I'm Laura, or I'm Alex. Both are correct.
That's right. I'm is shorter and more casual. It's a contraction. That means it's I am, but we put them together.
My name is Laura. Now you try.
Now, what about saying where you're from? Alex, you said you're from Chicago, right?
Yes, I said, I'm from Chicago. This is the most common way. You can say, I'm from, and then your city or country.
Right. For example, you could say, I'm from Japan, or I'm from Brazil, or I'm from Germany.
Exactly. And Laura, you said something interesting. You said you're originally from California. Can you explain that?
Oh, great question. Originally from means where you were born or where you grew up. So I was born in California, but now I live in New York. Let me give you some more examples with different countries and cities. You might say, I'm from London, I'm from Tokyo, I'm from Sao Paulo, or I'm from Cairo. Notice how we use from with both cities and countries.
That's right. And here's something interesting. You can be more specific or more general depending on the situation. If someone from another country asks, you might say, I'm from the United States. But if you're talking to someone else from the US, you might say, I'm from Illinois, or even, I'm from Chicago. Let's talk more about this originally from phrase. It's really useful when your life story is a bit more complicated. For example, maybe you were born in one place, grew up in another, and now live somewhere else entirely.
Here's a good example. Imagine someone was born in India, moved to England when they were 5, and now lives in Australia. They might say, I'm originally from India, but I grew up in England, and now I live in Australia. This gives people a complete picture of their background.
That's really useful. So you might say, I'm originally from Mexico, but I live in Canada now.
Exactly. And there are other ways people might ask this question too. Someone might ask, where do you come from? Or what's your hometown? These all mean basically the same thing. They want to know where you're from originally.
Okay, hi, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Alex. I'm Laura. Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago. How about you?
I'm from California. Chicago's a great city.
Thanks. California is beautiful too.
Perfect. Did you hear some useful phrases there, everyone? Nice to meet you is very important to know.
That was great. Let's do another practice conversation, but this time, let's include someone with a more complex background. Laura, let's pretend you're someone who moved around a lot.
Okay, hi there. I'm Maria. Nice to meet you.
Yes, and when someone says nice to meet you, you can say nice to meet you too. The word too means also.
Right, and another useful question is where are you from? This is how you ask someone about their hometown or country.
Hi, Maria. I'm David. Nice to meet you too. Where are you from?
Well, that's a bit complicated. I'm originally from Mexico, but I grew up in Canada, and now I live here in New York. How about you?
Wow, that is interesting. I'm from right here in New York, born and raised. So if someone asks, where are you from, and you answer, you can say, how about you, to ask them the same thing.
Excellent! Did you notice how Maria explained her complex background? She used originally from, grew up in, and now I live. These are perfect phrases for people who have lived in multiple places.
I'm from, or I'm originally from.
Let's review the key phrases we learned today. First, to introduce yourself, my name is, or I'm. Nice to meet you, and nice to meet you too.
And did you catch how David asked a follow-up question? This shows he's interested in listening. Follow-up questions are a great way to keep conversations going and show that you care about what the other person is saying. Great examples of follow-up questions are, where are you from? And how about you?
Let's learn some more useful phrases for introductions. Sometimes people might say, what's your name, instead of just introducing themselves first. You can answer with, my name is, or just, I'm. Both are perfectly fine.
Here's something important to know. There's a difference between formal and informal introductions. In casual situations, I'm Laura is perfect, but in more formal situations, like a job interview or meeting your boss, you might say, my name is Laura Smith, using your full name.
These are really useful phrases that you can use every day. Practice them with friends, family, or even by yourself.
That's such good advice. Remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Exactly. And in very formal situations, you might say, allow me to introduce myself. My name is. Or, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm. These sound more professional and polite in business settings.
Now, let's talk about some common mistakes English learners make with introductions. One mistake is saying, I am coming from, instead of I am from or I come from. Remember, we don't use coming when talking about where we're originally from.
Another common mistake is forgetting to ask questions back. In English-speaking cultures, conversations are like a tennis game. You share information, then ask the other person to share too. So don't forget to ask, how about you? Or where are you from? Or what about you? Don't worry about making mistakes. That's how we learn. Just keep practicing.
Let's talk about cultural differences for a moment. In some cultures, people share a lot of personal information when they first meet, like their job, family status, or age. But in English-speaking countries, especially when first meeting someone, it's usually best to keep it simple, with just your name and where you're from.
That's right. Topics like your job or hobbies are fine to mention if it comes up naturally, but personal things like salary, relationship status, or detailed family information are usually saved for when you know someone better. Keep first introductions light and friendly.
Here's something important that goes beyond just words: body language. When you introduce yourself in English-speaking countries, it's common to make eye contact, smile, and offer a handshake. This shows confidence and friendliness.
A firm handshake, not too strong, not too weak, shows confidence.
And remember to look at the person's eyes when you shake hands and say your name. This might feel uncomfortable if it's not common in your culture, but it's expected in most English-speaking countries.
All right, let's put everything together with one more practice conversation. This time, let's imagine we're at a networking event where people are more formal. Alex, you are meeting a potential business contact.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Robert Johnson. I'm from Seattle, but I'm here in New York for the conference. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Robert. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Elizabeth Chen. I'm originally from San Francisco, but I work here in New York now. How are you finding the conference?
It's been excellent so far. Thank you for asking. The presentations have been very informative. Seattle to New York is quite a move. What brought you to the East Coast?
Well, I got a great job opportunity here about 3 years ago. The city has been wonderful, though I do miss the mountains sometimes. What line of work are you in Seattle?
Perfect. Did you notice how that conversation was different from our casual ones? Robert used, "I'd like to introduce myself," and gave his full name. Elizabeth said, "It's a pleasure to meet you," instead of just, "Nice to meet you." These are more formal expressions.
And notice how they both asked thoughtful follow-up questions that showed interest in each other's experiences. How are you finding the conference? And what brought you to the East Coast? These questions help build a meaningful conversation beyond just the basic introductions.
Before we wrap up today's lesson, let's do a quick pronunciation practice. I'll say some key phrases, and you can repeat after me. Ready? My name is. Now you try. Great. I'm from. Excellent. Nice to meet you. Perfect.
You're doing great. Now here's your homework for this week. Practice introducing yourself in front of a mirror at least once every day. Start with the basic version. Hi, I'm, your name, I'm from, your place. Then try the more detailed version with where you are originally from, where you grew up, and where you live now.
And here's a pro tip. If you're nervous about introducing yourself in English, prepare a few versions ahead of time. Have a casual version ready for informal situations and a more formal version for professional settings. The more you practice, the more natural it will become.
Well, that's all for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening to English Daily Practice Hub. See you next time. Goodbye.